Good morning, my loves. Happy Wednesday. It is 4:30 in the morning here at the lake. Been a long week. It's been not a bad week, just stressful, very intense. Got home from work last night, running late. I had clients that came in that some of my favorite clients, and they had drove over an hour to come in and just say thank you. So I had to stay. It was worth it just for the hugs. Got home, changed clothes. When I change clothes, I put on a big t-shirt and some cutoffs, and I am in for the evening. I'm going to relax. Got comfy, eating my salad, and the phone rings. And it is a police officer in another state. I know law enforcement from all over the U.S. And if they call, there's a reason. He said, Miss Brenda, I need a favor. What you need? They have a young girl that they have arrested time and time and time again for prostitution, and she doesn't care. She sees herself as an independent contractor providing a service. Talk to her. Sure, why not? And he laughed and said, that's kind of the way she sees this. She's in lockup. She doesn't have anything else to do. So why not spend the time talking to you? Great. So he said, I'll call you back. A few minutes later, I had a FaceTime call, and it was her. She's very put together, a very expensive suit. She's wearing a little overdone, you know. She's wearing sunglasses and has a scarf around her head, and she's very elegant. Reminded me of an old Audrey Hepburn movie. And I asked her, I said, if you don't mind, I want to know who I'm talking to. Please remove the sunglasses and the scarf. You know, I'm not impressed. You know, let's just be who we are. So she set them down, and she was just very, whatever, that's fine. I said, look, I am not the moral police. I'm not here to tell you what you're doing is right, wrong, or indifferent. Officer asked me to talk to you. I work with law enforcement all over the country. I'm happy to do whatever I can. Do you have questions for me? And she was very, no. Okay, it works for me. I told her what I do. I have a day job, but I'm also a trauma therapist, and I work with people, you know, all over the world. A lot of human trafficking is a lot of victims, on and on and on and on. And she is just glaring at me like, good for you. I said, so obviously you're a prostitute. She said, I prefer to call myself an independent sexual contractor. I said, that's interesting. So you're a prostitute. And, you know, because she is. If you pay for sex, if somebody pays for sex, you're a prostitute. You are selling your body for sex. Plain and simple. Don't, you know, it doesn't matter how you dress it up, honey. That's what you are. Fine. Because I'm not Willy Wonka. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I'm not here to play into her games. They want me to have a talk with her. We're going to have a talk. I said, you're very elegantly dressed. You're well-spoken. I would assume you're educated. She's gone to college. I asked what she does for a day job. She gave me generalities, which is fine. So she does have a professional job. I said, may I ask why you do what you do? She loves what she does. Great. I said, I love what I do. Wonderful. So we have that in common. I love my day job, and I love being a trauma therapist. And in my day job, I kind of get to do both. Well, she can't mix her day job and her part-time job, but she does love both. Okay, what do you love about your second job? That she gets paid for helping people. Really, and how do you help people? They come to her for intimacy experiences. She was much more blunt than that, and I'm not going to be blunt like that. Okay. And they pay you for your services, and they pay her a substantial amount of money. I mean, I don't know that much about prostitutes. I don't know the going rate or anything, but they pay her a substantial amount of money, not thousands, but hundreds of dollars. And she is all about the stuff. And I called her on that. I said, so how many dates do you have a week? And she said, usually she tries to take a couple of evenings off. But other than that, she'll have maybe 5 to 6 dates a week. Okay. And you're paid in cash. She said that, or, they will put money on her credit card. They will buy her clothes. They will buy her jewelry. Got it. So you like the pay. You do it for the money. Well, I don't mind what I do. I didn't say that. I said, you do it for the money. You do it for the payoff. And she held her hand and she showed me her jewelry and she had her nails. And I said, well, I get my nails done too. Okay. I said, I pay a little over $100 every 2 weeks for a mani-pedi, which that's what most people, when you go, that's what we pay. Pay to get our hair done. Okay. I use the money from my day job. That's me. She said, well, I have other people that pay for me. I said, well, that's nice. So you do all of this for the stuff. Yes. And then she tells me all about her designer clothes and all of her jewelry and the trips and on and on and on and on. And I said, okay, that's nice. Okay. I said, I'm not impressed, but if that impresses you, that's great. But when you do wake up in the middle of the night and it's bothering you a little bit, oh, it doesn't bother me at all. I repeated it. When you wake up in the middle of the night alone, and you know that, because you'll have a favorite John, you have favorite people. You have favorite people. And you know that they're with their family, they're with their loved ones who have their heart. You get them sexually, and they pay you a few $100s, but your bed's cold and alone, and they're at home with a loved one. That doesn't bother you? What do you do? How do you rationalize that? She said she gets out of bed and she looks at her jewelry. She goes to her closet and looks at her furs. She looks at the photos in her phone of all the trips, and that's how she rationalizes what she does. I said, okay, does it bother you that you're tearing families apart? No. Does it bother you that you are literally taking money away from children being fed or getting braces or whatever? No, because it's not her problem. Do you agree that we are all responsible for our own actions, inactions, attitudes, behaviors, and the consequences? Yes. I said, but you do not hold yourself accountable. You take no responsibility in breaking up families. No. So she's compartmentalizing. She said, if they don't go to her, they're going to go to somebody else. I said, I'm going to send an article I wrote to this officer. So I just want you to read it. You don't have anything else to do for the evening. And it's in all my books. I'm not telling you to buy my books. I just want you to read the article. It's interesting. It is thought-provoking. That's all I want you to do is think. She rolled her eyes. Okay. I said, because what I see when I'm talking to you, I see a hole in your soul. That you have been hurt as a child. You have been hurt as a young woman. Maybe you were raped. Maybe you were inappropriately touched. Maybe you were disrespected. And you have decided never again. You are taking control. If anybody's going to hurt anybody, you are going to be the one to hurt others. You're not going to let anybody close to you. You're going to keep them at arm's length. You are just going to use them and abuse them. And that's exactly what you're doing. You have a hole in your soul that you're filling with stuff. And at the end of the day, when you're my age, you're going to have a whole different perspective. And she looked at me like a deer in the headlights, just kind of, because I'm right. She said, and that's what I told her, because I'm right. And she said, you don't know this. I said, oh, honey, I know this. I can look at your face. I know this. You're trying to hurt them before they hurt you. You're going to use them before they hurt you. You're using everybody before they hurt you. I imagine at your day job, you are cold, you are aloof, you don't have friends at work. You really don't have a lot of friends at all because you don't trust anyone. You keep everybody at arm's length because you're not going to let anyone ever hurt you again. You hurt them before they hurt you. She said, I think I need to go. And I said, yes, I think you do. give the phone back to. So she called him, and he was chuckling, and he comes over because he was listening, and she hands him the phone, and I said, I'm sending you an article I read. He said, okay, and he thanked me. And he said, do I owe you anything? And I said, just be sure she reads this and let me know her thoughts. So I sent him the article. It's called A Hole in Your Soul. It's on social media. It's in my books. If you want it, shoot me a DM and I will be happy to send you the article. And it was probably an hour later. I was in bed and my phone dinged. And of course I answered look at my phone. And it was him. And he said, oh, she read it. She said the next time she's arrested, she wants to talk to you again. So I imagine I will be hearing from her again at some time soon. But there are consequences to all of our behaviors. Are you filling a hole in your soul with stuff? Are you keeping everybody at arm's length? Are you, because you've been hurt so much, you're hurting them before they hurt you? I just thought this was the most fascinating conversation I had had in a long time, and that's why I wanted to share it with everybody. She was just layer upon layer upon layer of pain, of like a disguise, that she doesn't want anybody to know who she really is. But she's not ever going to let anybody find that out, and she's not ever going to let anybody hurt her again. I know she isn't happy. I know she's probably very empty inside, very cold and alone inside, because all the stuff in the world isn't going to fill that hole in her soul. I look forward to talking to her again. Maybe she will see this video. I don't know. Life is interesting, isn't it? I hope everybody enjoys this. It's thought-provoking. Like I said, I'm not the moral police. I'm not here to judge. I just hope some of the things that she and I talked about will help her heal. It may not. Maybe it'll reach somebody else. Life is not about stuff. It's not about the superficial. It's about those heartfelt connections. It's not about using and abusing others. It's about being true to yourself, having true friends, true relationships, those heart connections that nothing else can take the place of. But you got to allow those walls to come down for people to know you for who you are. I'll keep you posted.